Good morning, Rotarians and guests. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our regular Wednesday morning meeting of the Rotary Club of Hudson. Great to see so many folks here. Let's see, today is November 19th, 2025. Is that right? All right, good. All right. I'm off to a good start. All right. So I think we have some good things here today. We're going to learn some good information. But before we get to that, let's start with the invocation from this guy.
And ask you to please just sit down. I'm going to read something a little bit different than normal invocation. And that is, what is an invocation? So we're going to draw on artificial intelligence. An invocation prayer is a formal appeal to higher power at the beginning of a ceremony or gathering to ask for blessing, guidance, and spiritual. It serves to focus the participants on the purpose of the event. And common elements include praise, confession, and a plea for the divine to be active in the proceedings. Key components of an invocation of prayer: calling upon God's presence. Invocation prayer formally invites divine presence to be active and acknowledged throughout the event. 2, praise and adoration. It includes an expression of awe, the divine power, grace, and glory. 3, confession and humility. The prayer offering includes a humble acknowledgement of human dependence, divine recognition of spiritual need. 4, supplication for guidance, blessing. The prayer is a request for wisdom, help, guidance, and blessings for the specific occasion. So I just thought I'd give you a little introduction to that. A lot of people don't know what an invocation is. They suggest that it be very, very short. So I've already taken up my time. But I'll just ask for a quick invocation. Please stay seated. God bless us while we gather here today with the idea of staying focused on the mission of Rotary and the 4-way test and the real meaning of Rotary in helping us become service to others. Amen. Amen.
I think my dad added that part about the confession. Still waiting to, have me confess for, borrowing his car when I wasn't supposed to. I'm not confessing. I'm standing firm, Dad. Forget it. Even though my mom saw me. All right, and let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll join me, the flag here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the 4-way test of things we think, say, and do. First is the truth. Second is the fair to all concerned. Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And 4th, will it be beneficial for all concerned? All right, that. Steve, come on up and get us going, please.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Did you miss me?
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks. Wow, I cannot believe I've not been here for 2 weeks. I've missed all of you, and it's great to see everybody. Catherine, nice to have you back your trip, so welcome back. And I want to thank Gail. We give Gail a round of applause. Oh, she's shaking. Give her a big one. Thank you. My absence. You got a little preview of next year with Gail being our president-elect. So again, thank you, Gail, for everything. Got a couple of quick announcements when we get started here. So first, this month our charitable giving is going to Freedom House in Kent. Even though we have one more week, I think this is probably effectively the last week, I would say, probably to collect Terry. Is that correct? Yes. So again, it's, any personal hygiene items that you might be able to get your hands on or non-perishable goods or cash. So Terry, if they don't have it today, how do we get it to you? Just take it to your office? Okay, Terry, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Immediately after this meeting, we will be having the foundation board meeting held by our president, Patrick Shear. So all are welcome to attend if they would like, but that will be immediately after this meeting. Our good friends from Service Learning are here today, so we have them come on up. I was excited speaking of them. Here for service and learning. I think you also have, if I understand it, you want to talk a little bit about, have something that you might need our assistance on. So we'd love to hear about that as well. Some policy presentations and stuff. Yeah. So I'll give it over here. Okay, Gina.
Good morning, you guys. So I'm the spokesman for the group today because Jamie's voice is still on the mend from when he was out. But thank you for having us. A couple of brief announcements. We are going to start our annual projects. So the policy project invites will be coming out from Marty soon. And then Jamie then will send out the kindness presentation invites after that. We would love to have you guys come and watch our students present, give them feedback as always. In addition to that, I have two wonderful students with me today, and I will introduce our first student, Aiden Silvas, who's a legacy. His sister Abby had been to Rotary and is a previous Rotary scholarship winner. And Aiden's going to come and talk about his experience working at the nursing home.
All right, thank you. Like you said, my name's Aiden, I'm a senior at Hudson High School. I've always loved service. Fun fact about me, I'm actually an Eagle Scout. My project. Bridge 27. Yeah. I've always loved serving. I've always loved just doing service and helping out. But my site this semester is actually Heritage of Hudson right across the street. I work in the memory care unit. I actually never thought I would enjoy working with like the elderly because I don't know, it just never really appealed to me. But being there has made me realize. No, but actually I love working there. It's like really nice knowing that people look forward to seeing me every day and just helping them with like simple stuff, whether it just be reading their daily news or like making a joke or playing with them. And it's really fun. And I hope to work with younger kids maybe next semester to like see kind of like the later in life and the early in life kind of thing. But yeah, a funny story about my son. Like the first few weeks, it's and all the older ladies were all hitting on me the first few weeks. Yeah, that's like that. And then my plans for that I'm looking for after high school would be so I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm feeling more of the 4-year style of college because I currently work at Honda, I'm a technician, and I was thinking maybe trade. But I'm looking maybe more on the business side, so I'm thinking of either going to OU, OSU, or UC, so staying with this. But those are my follow. But yeah. Me.
Thank you, David. And yeah, this is kind of a fun week for me to introduce students because Aiden, I remember him from when he was just a little kid, and it's been such a wonderful experience to get to know him as a senior this year. And he's correct. I witnessed at his site, he was a hot commodity. I was really fascinating to watch him negotiate that with the resident. The second student that I want to bring up to the podium is Katie Will. And Katie is another student who I was introduced to when she was a freshman. She doesn't know this, but my daughter was on the cross country team, and Katie was a super quick freshman when my daughter was on the team. So it's been great to see her energy, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about her site at Hudson Middle School and what her future plans are. So come on up, Katie.
Hi, my name is Katie Lowe. I'm a senior at the high school learning, and I'm on the other end of Aiden. So I'm in the middle school, and I work at the sixth grade community honors with Miss Queen's class. And I do literally everything the teacher does. I help her out. I've learned how to laminate. I've learned how to fix a printer. I've learned lots of life skills at my site, and I've also gotten really close with my sixth grade students and helping them adjust to middle school, because the jump from elementary school to middle school is kind of big, because you like do block periods now and like switch classes and have multiple teachers. So just adjusting to middle school is kind of my goal with helping them out. So yeah, I really enjoy it. I love all the students, and I love all their different personalities. For future plans, I want to go south for college. I like High Point, North Carolina. I don't know if you can go about that. Or Tampa, Florida. It's a little farther though, but I love the campus. I want to go to nursing. I want to help people nurse my life on a hands-on way, and I feel like that's good to it. So yeah, thank you. Yes, there's lots of like crushes and stuff, and some of the girls will come up to me and be like, "You know, I don't like him, right?" And they're like, "Ah." They're so funny. Yeah.
Good morning. So I'm not going to say much because, as you can tell, I don't have a whole lot of a voice. I actually just came back to work for the first time last week. So I feel like the train is moving 100 miles an hour. I'm just trying to jog alongside and have fun. I actually just met Peyton and Katie last week for the first time. But I do want to thank Marty and Gina and Brittany, because they were absolutely spectacular while I was out, and I can't thank them enough. But yeah, so as Gina said, we'll be doing the kindness presentation starting in January. And you've got Marty and Brittany looking out for policy project help next month. So we do appreciate that connection with you guys. Marty we usually filter that through, and I'm not sure it's filtered through this year. Maryland, yeah. Oh, it's already out. It's even better. Yep. So Maryland, Marty usually sends it out to me. Who sends it out to? Yep. We'll send ours out too. Yep. Yeah, it should update it. It should update real time. Yeah.
All right, thank you. It's great to see everybody here today. Aiden, Katie, good luck in your futures, and it's great what you're doing. Very proud of both of you and everything that's going on in service learning. And again, let's go to the email that Marilyn sent out on Monday, the weekly newsletter where the link is where we can sign up to help. I think it sounds like it'd be a very fascinating and fun project to help the group out. Jamie, I hope you're feeling better. Sorry that you're having some issues there with your voice, but we're looking forward to you being able to sing some Christmas holiday music next time. So. All right, we'll move on. So we have the Karnoupakis Fall Floral Fundraiser. This is the last week to sign up for that. So Rich, would you like to come on up and tell us a little bit about the last week of the Fall Fundraiser?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Andy's in a hurry, so I'll make this quick. Since he always gets in here. We've had a couple people, residents participate in the Karnoupakis fall fundraiser.
Oh, no, we're good.
That I need more to see what it is, but. I started a new sheet, for those people that have been away and haven't been here. Getting the Mr. Doug waving at me. So I'll start it up front with Andy and work it across. We right now are at about 50% participation out of our total membership. That's between giving them $100 checks and the flowers. Flowers are about 45 flower arrangements. Now, just want to point something out, and there's numbers next to those people that have checked that the donation part. They've also checked either flowers, either the two dozen roses or the floral arrangement. I filled in the dollar amount being the $1,500 that you're short to get to $100 profit. The whole idea is $15 profit on the flowers, and which one you choose. So if you didn't get there with those orders, I rounded it up. I just assumed you're going to make a donation to make up for it. Amy, you did it, but I noticed how you're chasing that young boy over there, so you leave him alone. I can bring something. So I'm going to pass this. This is the last day for doing it because I have to allow for a 2-week turnaround for the florist to get us the flowers. I believe Maryland, wherever you are, the date is December 10th. That's a Wednesday. So trying to make it here. So I mean, Maryland and I will do our best to get you the flowers if you did order, but try to be here if you did order flowers so we can hand them off to you, and also get your trusty little checks from you by that date too. So December 10th. All right. Any questions, comments? Andy, questions? No, go for it. All right. Here we go.
Give them the mic.
If you donate online, then I need to add that to the list so that we're probably greater than 50% right now. So I'll get the online orders. Oh, you need a pen? I'll get the online orders added to them. That's it. It is, yes.
All right, thank you, Rich. So again, we have until the end of the week to get signed up. The 21st, and the delivery is on December 10th. So we are in the beginning of the holiday season. So the next item I want to bring up is the Santa in the cabin. So that's going to be here before we know it. It's going to be Saturday, December 6th. I think we still need some help with setup and tear down, as well as I believe we might still need an afternoon captain. So please go online if you have it, see if you have time available to assist with Santa on the cabin. It is always an exciting and fun event for the children, for us to bring Santa down and to enjoy the beautiful cabin that we have available. So again, any help that can be provided would be very much appreciated. We also have the Salvation Army Red Kettle activity, which we participate in every year. That is going to be from December 9th through December 12th. The times, it's basically from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They're in 2-hour time blocks. I believe we have a schedule going around, but you can also sign up online. Jen, do you want to add anything?
A lot quicker than Christian Week. There's a sign-up sheet here. I'll put them all online if you don't want to do it. There are some that have already signed up online. Katie, this is a great hands-on. Just ring the bell and help people. But anyway, so it's all on here, and you can sign up as many people as you want. Right now, I think I have like 3 slots per 2 hours, so we can just add on. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you. And finally, before our presentation, wrapping up the holiday theme is, I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not, but we had a wonderful opportunity to have a Christmas tree at the Case Barlow Farm. So really exciting, you know, I want to first thank Liz, well, for actually kind of coming up with the idea, and then Cindy Cano secured our tree, so thank you for doing that. And then we had, you know, basically Sue and Cindy and Liz and Jay Yard and Marilyn Orr, they all participated decorating the Christmas tree, and I believe we also had some help from Marilyn Orr, Brandon Orr, and Grace and Quallet. They did some artwork because the theme of the tree is letters to Santa. So what I would like to ask us to do, first of all, it's always great to go out and visit the Case Barlow barn, the farm, and check out the beautiful Christmas trees. But if you could go out and take a look at their efforts and the beautiful tree that we have representing Rotary this year, your $5 admission ticket, you would put that in to vote for the best tree. Obviously, you're going to vote for the Rotary tree, and then my understanding is the top 3 vote getters get a cash reward. So again, if you go out, check out the tree, that would be fantastic. I saw somebody pointing at Andy, or is it fine day today, Andy? I thought that was last week.
Last week, I think about
You do have an update, okay? I was gonna say, I didn't bring cash, so we'll wrap it up though, because we gotta get our presentation going.
So for those of you who remember last week, we were very much dealing with the gratitude, and we raised our funds for purposes of the Hudson Fire Department and their donations. And I did receive back a wonderful email, a very nice long email from Jerry Barnes, who told us that basically, you know, he said it's wonderful that we had all of the participation. More important is we raised $465, which goes a long, long way to providing deals to residents right here. And as you recall, we were talking in terms of there's 87 families that are in need here in Hudson. And we help satisfy 3 of those people, 3 of those families. So thank you for your generosity, and it's not too late for your doing.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Can we do it after the presentation? Let's be respectful of our presenter, and then we'll have some announcements after, if that's okay. All right, so first of all, I want to mention Neighbor for securing our speakers for this month. If you'd like to come up and introduce our speaker for today, very interesting topic. So that I think we all would like to learn a little more about.
Well, I know they deserve some thanks, but James Field is the one who really deserves the thanks because he's responsible for both speakers this month. So I'll take credit, but he really did the recommendation. We're going to do Karnoupakis a little different at the end because there's going to be a quiz about blockchain at the end. Who scores the highest gets the Karnoupakis. Maybe we don't have time. Okay, I need to introduce the speaker. Evan Karnoupakis. Karnoupakis has authored 4 publications with O'Reilly Media. What is blockchain, state of blockchain, blockchain success stories, NFTs and the Metaverse, and everything Web 3.0. He wrote a book about the guide to blockchain and digital asset industry. We'll hear more about that. He currently works as a consultant for Media Shower and serves as a board advisor, providing blockchain expertise to the nonprofit IoT Sandbox. The crypto hedge fund for 1881 Capital Partners, also startup Avocado Bets. He holds an undergraduate degree from in business from Miami University, an NAT in integrated math at Kent State, and an MBA from work. Let's welcome up Evan.
Look as much for it.
Four publications with media. I also frequently speak at conferences, universities worldwide. Yeah, what is it? Media shower, where we created a blockchain investor scorecard, as well as we perform learning and discovery sessions with the various levels of state and local government in the state of Massachusetts. In terms of investing, we already talked about this. I also am a co-author of Block Stocks, Investing in Blockchain Beyond Bitcoin, which again, lessons I learned during the economy to avoid investing in .coms, but actually looking at greater infrastructure such as fiber optics. And then next, in terms of community building, I'm a member of Coinbase's Stand Up Crypto Foundation, where we work on advocacy and education for regulators. I'm also a member of Ohio X, where I regularly travel to Columbus to meet with state legislators and leaders to create an environment that encourages innovation and entrepreneurship. And then in terms of government regulation, I collaborate with the Digital Chamber, which is the trade association for the blockchain industry, to create Ohio and Massachusetts versions of the Legislator's Toolkit blockchain technology. And in 2022, I was selected by the U.S. State Department to speak to the International Business Leadership Program on blockchain. So, what are our objectives for the day? Understanding the relationship between Web3 and blockchain, how to value digital assets, real value of NFTs to potential use cases, and business applications of blockchain technology, and then current regulatory issues where the industry is heading to the convergence of AI, IoT, and quantum computing. So, we got the term Web3. Well, Web 1 is the original internet. This was a read-only internet, meaning content creators created their websites, and you could go to them and search. You had no real interaction with an internet web. This tended to be a very solitary experience. But this original internet is considered free, public, open, wordless, censorship resistant. Those are the principles it's based on. This then led to Web 2, which can be described as free-write, the second generation of the internet. This is when it became so to participants. Not only did the content creators create their websites, but then you could go on there and create content yourself. But this created an opportunity then for centralization, monetization of community. So in 2004, that's when Tim O'Reilly coined the term Web 2.0 in his context. And as Facebook and Twitter emerged, this tremendous potential to monetize these communities, but then that made them more centralized and took them away from the internet's founding principles. So this leads us to Web 3, which is a third generation, which is reading, writing, but also owning and controlling your own web content. And technically, you don't own your Google Photos, you don't own your Yahoo emails, your Facebook posts, the work you do on LinkedIn. Technically, this can take away from you. The idea here is that with the term I call read, write, equity, okay, then now you as a rational person should have the right to own and control your content. You should be able to benefit if a company sells your data. That's really the philosophy behind Web3. So what does this have to do with blockchain and crypto? Right? Well, blockchain is a technology. These principles are very much aligned with those of Web3. So if you think of the internet, we've been for the last 25 years as an internet as a platform for sharing information. And all these businesses that were built upon this, Google, Amazon, that information can be sent for free, almost instantaneously, reasonably trusted, public, wordless. Well, then you can think of blockchain as a platform for sharing value in a similar manner. Now, the first thing of value that was shared over the internet, peer-to-peer, was Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is still the bellwether for the industry. Bitcoin is huge. So 50% of the blockchain industry. If it were, its own entity, you think about global meat first, then NVIDIA, and I think it's, Apple, Microsoft, Google. Bitcoin itself will be 8, between Amazon at 7, Meta, which was a platform. Again, so you didn't have to build their blockchain. For people, decentralized apps on top of that. Bitcoin and Ethereum combined about 7% of the blockchain industry. Then you have stable coins, okay, such as US dollar. The idea here is that it's pegged with dollar. It's just a digital version, such a digital version of a dollar. That way you don't have to convert your money back and forth between fiat and US dollars and cryptocurrencies. Okay, lots of facts about how big stable coins have gotten now. In fact, stable coins, they were the country. They would be somewhere, there'd be about as big as Norway, Saudi Arabia. Pretty much any asset can be tokenized, meaning digitized and put onto the blockchain. So, for example, let's say you have a $500,000 piece of real estate. You don't need to find someone with $500,000 for $500,000 to buy it. You can create 500, 100,000, $1,000 debt. By a fraction of this asset, you can open up real estate now to a market democratizing industry. Let's say you're a physician and you have your credentials, okay, while these transfers to persons and all this personal information on it. Instead of having to send away and have mail, stamp seal envelope, you can store your credentials in a digital form on a wallet, share them with whoever you want, they can be verified online with universal verifier using cryptocurrency technology, which shows that it hasn't been altered. Well, let's say you want to have a platform, an image or a video of your favorite athlete. And again, this is what we call a non-fungible token. And now you can go ahead and put this on a blockchain as well. So again, you get ways that you can share all of this value. So as business specific leaders, it's more important that you know what it can do and how it works. But I do want to go to the next slide. It's like it's put the 2 pieces of technology and how you can use this to have better understanding of the technology. First is what we call decentralized technology. Now, if you think of an account like keeps track of all transactions, okay? Blockchain is what we call logically centralized. There is only one ledger, but it's organizationally decentralized. Every computer contributes to the system as a property by a ledger. These transactions are all coordinated through consensus protocols, which are basically computer algorithms that can be trusted, time-stamped, and auditable ledger. This is one of the values of the cloud. Okay? But again, it's distributed. There's no central authority or there's no central database. The second is what we call smart contracts. Smart contracts act as electronic agents that establish client agreements. Okay? When certain conditions are met, without the need for third-party intervention, that's a big third-party intervention. That's a big benefit here. Okay? Think about how many of you now, when you go to pay for something, they say, well, we'll give you 3% discount if you pay that. Why? Because of that third-party intermediary here. That's the real value that this technology provides. So again, you disintermediate expensive third parties, and then you have this beautiful distributed ledger that anyone can see. This is ideally suited for routine, predictable transactions. So one of the first articles I read back in 2018 for Bitcoin Market Journal, I came up with top 20 industry blockchain will disrupt. I came up with 5 criteria for industry disruption. Why? Because remember 25 years ago, we have everyone was like, oh, we're going to put this on the internet, whether it makes sense or not. And all these got so basically, we're not successful. Went back. And again, you have the same thing happen. We're going to put our business on blockchain. We're going to create a token. We're going to create an NFT. Whatever the latest hype was there. But I came up with 5 criteria that you can use to determine does it actually make sense. So the first is simplification. By automating and verifying predictable transactions and delivering on compliant transactions, you eliminate or reduce intermediary fees. The second is expanding trust. That was our opening quote. Whenever you have trust, Okay, that leads to knowledge. Trust is the foundation for any civilization. We're gonna have that agreement. Well, in this case, if you can eliminate that third-party second reporting by balancing transparency, this immutable ledger, anyone participating with privacy, we call zero knowledge proofs. Okay? If you send your transcript with all your grades on it, that transcript has a lot of information on your social security number that you don't want. If you're 22 and you try and get into a bar, you need to show your ID. But now you're just letting them know where you live and all this other information about. If zero knowledge proofs are related, you can preserve privacy by just revealing specific information scheme. There's also what we call self-reinforcing activities through network effects. I'll explain that on the slide coming up here, but the idea is the more computers participating, more stable and secure your blockchain becomes. Third is data sovereignty. No central database to have because it's distributed, but this also means that you have greater control over your data. You don't actually have to store the data on the blockchain. You can store it in your hash data. And then compare the data that you store offline to verify its authenticity. Okay, this gives you greater ownership. Well, what this default number doesn't make sense. Does it actually add value? This is where something like supply chain technology, where you typically would have all these disparate based systems, you bring a product from one part of the world together. Now you can have one single ledger that you can then query. So let's say there's an outbreak for an illness, you can specifically trace it back to a farm somewhere on the other side of the world. That way you don't need to destroy millions and billions of dollars of food. You can clearly see what might have been contaminated. Also the value of provenance. Provenance means the complete origin and history of a product. And last is attainability. You can have this fantastic technology, but you need the right infrastructure in place. You need the resources, the financial, the technological, the human capital, build an infrastructure that is scalable, secure, and interoperable. And then also you have to deal with the threats of regulators. You always start business, and then of course you have to deal with the question of comments, and even within your own company, disrupting your own business when it's already profitable. Okay, so those are 5 criteria. Now, in terms of digital assets, how can you value? And what we're going to talk about the power network effects, 3 overarching rules, 3-step evaluation process that you can use to determine is this a viable investment, and then specific evaluation methods to look up. Then after that, we're going to talk about non-fungible tokens. I'll explain what those are relative to different evaluation sites. So, network effects. Okay. You think about the connections that take place between data. Okay. This creates next one. You can add data. You know, let's say you are quadruple data. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean you're quadrupling power system. With these cores, it's what we call quadratic growth, increase in an increase rate. If you were to go from say 4 nodes to 16 nodes, the number of connections would go based on a formula from 6 to 120. So you're increasing by the factor of 20. So this is one of the real value that this blockchain technology provides here. It's preparing your system. So in terms of evaluating spot, if you were to go to Young Finance, you can see all these different measurements, earnings per share, how you used to evaluate companies. But it doesn't necessarily apply to blockchain. We try to find equivalent data. What we came up with is called network values and calibration. It's like price to book value, but you keep the market cap, we'll substitute the net cap ratio for shareholder equity. What this means is the more nodes you have participating in the system, the lower values represent buy opportunities because there's more value in that system. So that is one type of a measure that we use to evaluate this. But 3 rules to remember. 1, scarcity equals value. Okay? Just like once I heard Fox Larry won't say, I invested in real estate. This guy's not making any more. Well, there's a finite amount of Bitcoin, and people just can't create more. And that's one of the brilliance of the Bitcoin white paper is that it solved a double spender rule with digital money. You can't just make more copies. This creates value. So I need 21 million. Next, users create value. It's like your customers, your business. Users create value. This is why Ethereum, a platform on which people build blockchain projects, has value. The last is liquidity. Okay. Now, an asset that has value, you can exchange it for something to use. This is an example of USDC stable coins. Again, they're pegged one to one, but they're backed dollar for dollar in cash and short-term liquid securities. Okay. All these three rules, that's what you want to be looking for. So further analyzing the user base, how many people are using it, how much are they using it, are these growing over time? Next, blockchain itself is added value. They solve problems. They improve efficiency, better, faster, cheaper. That's where a project like a Rotary, which processes international payments, can do this almost instantaneously for fractions of dollars. Because to fish on that, we're paying $25 to certain things. First mover advantage and sustainable competitive advantage. This is where, again, there's networks, there's communities around that. Those are where to do with it. Is the management team out? Now, when we wrote blockchain success stories, we talked about this is a technology that's about people. When I advise startups, what we know, you're not going to allow people by explaining just this the technology. You're going to be investing in you. And the last, I would say the mechanics perfect. Are they reasonably decentralized? Decentralized would keep advantage of what's called open source, contributing to it, your system. Instead of a wall silo, you are making this open source, much like the internet that we have today, which everyone can participate. But then again, is there a fixed supply of tokens, or are they only reported for doing the work? Next slide. So metrics, you can actually find daily active users on various sites. Cash is still king. So a very important business question. Because again, there's a project called Photo in Cleveland. So based on blockchain-based voting, but they ran out of money. And anytime you're trying to build a two-sided marketplace, you need the business place. If you don't have your users, then you're going to burn through your cash. And this is why it's very important to have a revenue here, such as the transaction these businesses use. Protocol revenue. That's very similar to stock dividends. Stock strength. In total value of market, that's like bank deposits. These are different terms. And last, avoid meeting points. That's things like Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, where people just basically create an image, they sell it. There's no value there. Okay? They're just pumping dust. They give the industry a bad reputation because they're not solving real problems. Look for real projects that have real solutions, not just a get rich quick scheme where people are going to come in and then the people get it early like any other multi-level pyramid scheme will work. But again, the fact that we've got 13 million of these laws means that we need sensible regulation. So probably not time to get it, but keep that in mind. So next slide. Okay. So what I'm going to talk about now is what are non-fungible or NFT? Well, pretty much anything that ever's gone viral on the internet has something to do with cats. So this guy Mac Lavelle decided he was going to create a new category of game where they were going to breed cats, digital cats, and they would have one characteristics. Each cat would have a token associated. But there was a problem. That technology didn't exist. So by fungible, we need the same or distinguish. Okay? I have 5 quarters, you have 5 quarters, we shall valid 0.5. I have my Bitcoin, you have my Bitcoin, we shall up at Starson because it changes the representation. $500,000. Okay. Non-fungible means different, unique, or interchanging. This would be like baseball cards, or Pokemon cards, or comic books. Okay? Non-fungible items, there's a lot that have very little value, but a few prize ones that because the characteristics have a lot of value, Okay, this technology didn't exist, so just as Bitcoin didn't exist, so they created a white paper, created this community of people contributed to the idea, and then Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin created this white paper for a platform for decentralized applications. He created this whole community around it, that were then ready to participate. Peter Shirley created a white paper called the PRC 721 non-fungible token. This is what each of these digital paths was placed on. So we can see here, yes, you've got a lot of these very common ordinary paths, but just like rare rookie baseball, first edition comic books, the Generation Zero of these had significant value there, as you can see. In fact, once cat on the next slide, Celestial Cyber Kitty sold for $140,000. Now, when you pay $140,000 for this cat, no, okay, you're all seeing it for free. And I've been showing this slide for years now. Okay, I can copy it, send it out against Satoshi solved the double spend problem with Bitcoin, so you couldn't copy these coins, but yet this, anyone can look at this image. So what's the real value here? Or is there any value to NFTs? Or is it just all hype? Okay. All an NFT does is it gives you the right to edit this column. So if you're Doug Fazoli, if you own Apple Blossom Kitty, you can go ahead and give your name, put someone else's on there, and exchange songs for value. Okay. But there's no trademark, not right. It's exclusivity. All you have is the brand. Yes, there's a community that they recognize from this, but there's really nothing there. But then can we still say that there's no value in this technology? Well, let's go to the next one. Okay. So the value is not in owning digital paths, okay, or any videos with sport methods, or even any digital art. Now, guy named Beeple sold his digital art for $69 million. So that's what got this excitement around NFTs. People thought they could make money. And clearly, someone like Snoop Dogg and Eminem, a celebrity of that nature, pays $500,000 for a Bored Ape image, crypto didn't even have an ape. And then you think, oh, well, if I can buy Bored Ape, now I can join that social group. I've got status. You know, instead of buying Rolex watch, which tells time effectively is a digital watch, or you know, a car, you can drive a Lamborghini, okay, as a status simply not a bail. Well, you can also have an NFT, bragging rights, and put that on your social media website. But the real value here is fostering the connection between content creators and the fans. Again, building communities, finding ways to monetize, providing access to experiences and participation. You attend an event and get an NFT, okay, and now you can display that the same way that you would have displayed your ticket to the World Series, or that costume. Provenance, meaning the complete origin and history of a product. You can show that this is authentic. You may show who previously owned this product, how much they paid for it, right? That which can add value to your product. Last, monetization of file exchange. Like, we always hear people complaining about how college textbooks are so expensive. Why? Because the professor or publisher only makes money on the first sale. Then every time it's resold, the used bookstore makes money, but the professors don't. And there have been times when I have, you know, the book that I read, I'll see, oh, my book's going up in the rankings, maybe the top 100 on business entrepreneurship, top 20 on money and banking, and I got my realty. There's nothing there. But what's wrong here? Well, it's very simply because they're selling used books. But when you digitize a product, every time it's resold, the original creator can continue to get royalties. What? So, types of NFTs, generative, we'll get to this quickly because that's what essentially cryptocurrencies and Bored Apes are, versus great participatory. Again, that's like having your ticket stub, but maybe there are some benefits for participating, such as token gating. You can use your NFTs to get access to certain events, or even have governance authority within an organization based on the work that you've done. Last dynamic, this is the one that's most interesting, okay? let's say you have a Jose Ramirez rookie card. Okay? That card is set. Yes, he's gone on to have the stellar career, but that card is unchanged. Now, it used to be, if you were going to invest in stocks, you had to send away to a company or get all their financial statements, look through those. You had to check it the next day in the newspaper and see what the stock price was. Well, now you can go on your own lines and see all of these ratios updated instantaneously every single day. The same thing here. With dynamic collectibles, every time Jose Ramirez hits a home run, that card is updated. So you don't have to have all the specific stats on everything he's done. You can just simply put there right away. And again, just like what's happened with investment, proving timeliness and accuracy, that leads to confidence and liquidity to markets. Next slide. Okay, so again, how can we value these? Just like with other collectibles, rarity, utility, future value. And again, we're seeing now in this marketplace, which is originally full of speculators trying to flip these cats, trying to get in early and get in. Sure. We're seeing now a decrease in the volume of NFT transactions, but an increase in the number of buyers. Meaning, again, they're holding these products, fully valuing them. This is trying to grow the spectrum. So just to wrap up the topic quickly, you don't want to picture games are basically to teach behaviors. This is gamification. Every way to learn about something is that favorite game. Next, the cheapest virtual world to get the benefits of the physical world. That sounds a lot like better. If we another topic, destroying debt and last, digital assets can be sold based form and have any application finance business. This is what we call programming logic. This is some of the real value of this technology can provide. That a typical style of money. Never sure. You have more fun that one. I just talked about quickly about the shop. About 2 years ago, I went to a survey shop in Ohio. One of my developments here in Ohio, within the Rust Belt, there are many of these towns dominated by one fact, the dark clothes, and part of smaller. But in Ohio, where we have, because of unusual shale, they have cheap natural gas, so lowers the price of other forms of better. This creates a situation where cheap energy and an existing infrastructure in place. So it's created an opportunity for the city to shop. There was a paper mill there, been in business for 150 years, then it closed. And that again, like a hard time to shop. But so state of power. We started doing Bitcoin mining, built data center, outside of the Solar Belt. This created jobs. Okay? And it also helped balance the energy grid. I often hear about how much energy it consumes. But if you do it the right way, and clean energy, you can actually balance out the grid because you do Bitcoin mining in off-peak times. So you ramp up for mining in off-peak times, then during peak usage, ramp down, and then go to the final slide here. On the next page, you can see this is the line. See, we're going to law of digital migration. What do you think about digital? Well, to me, this is called digital migration because they used to make paper on which you can print money, but now they're pretty money. It's about creating big factor as well as Bitcoin mining. And last, one more time here. Additionally, they employed about 20 people. These are jobs that you don't need 4-year college degrees for. You can partner with local high schools. They give them training. They doubled up the number of 40 within 18 months, and they probably have a place. So again, these are some of the things that this type of dialogue.
So, I mean, we have like 42 questions, so we want to come on up.
Tom?
Oh, here we go.
Well, thank you very much. Sorry we gave you such a short time. But it sounds like probably have you back. I think it's more than that.
They have to come back.
Yeah, that's really, at least for myself, starting zero. And for our students, this is the world you're gonna be living in, but point out. So, just one quick, I just may not be a quick answer, but so it sounds like everything's very traceable, but, trackable. But what happens, they talk about this large, the stealing large sums, what actually happens?
Okay, so, what happens there in terms of, you're often like, oh, this was happening, this is how. Bitcoin is what we call pseudo-anonymous, okay? How many of you ever bought anything on eBay? Anyone here use eBay? Okay, so let's say I'm gonna buy a Star Trek block, Klingon Commander card. I don't know who Klingon Commander card is, okay? But I can see he's the top rated seller. I can see the Klingon Commander card has had, 100 very successful transactions to satisfy customers. Right? So that's what we call, again, pseudo-anonymous. You can see you participating with on the blockchain without knowing a lot of their specific details. But let's say I get a bad product, Klingon Commander card, there's some, or something that was even like dangerous or something, where there was some sort of a criminal action. Okay, it's only anonymous on eBay, but at some point he needs to get his money out of eBay, okay, and into a bank that would have his name on. So when you hear about a lot of these blockchain hacks, sometimes I'm actually, it's what we call the oracle problem, where you think of an oracle that goes in this physical world and communicates with this mythological world, like the oracle in Delphi ancient Greece. It's the same thing where we're here in our kind of our physical world of dollars and traditional banks, but then there's this blockchain, okay? But at some point, even if you're anonymous on the blockchain, but it's still this untrusted timestamp on the left, you can see all the transactions. At some point, if you're gonna get your value out of there, that's where these people are eventually caught, okay? And so you also have to look at two things. One is, was it actually a hack, or did someone, were they just kind of careless, just like with their email password, and their password to their Coinbase account was stolen or compromised, and then they went in as opposed to actually Coinbase being hacked here, which has now, or the Bitcoin blockchain actually being hacked. Now there are famous hacks, things like Karnoupakis, which is one of the original changes, but in general, compared to cash, which no one knows what to do with cash, this is in many ways very simple. Any new technology, there's always going to be people who exploit it. The original internet, which originally had a reputation, VCR technology, all these things at some point, anytime you have a certain amount of anonymity, there's always going to be some sort of a criminal element. But in many ways, if you actually look at the statistics, get beyond the hype, in many ways, this is safer than many of our traditional financial technologies.
Really discussing, me and Matt watch this, I think, about regulatory type things going on in federal we have to do physical cash to try to combat terrorism, money laundering, lending, things like this. But how are we going to prevent those things from happening down the road? But it's just fascinating stuff. So amazing how fast we're moving with technology. So thank you so very, very much. Really do appreciate the time and presentation, put that in the back, and go on some more of these very fascinating topics regarding blockchains. Thank you. Yeah, another round of applause for Evan. Let's wrap this up. Terry, I think you had something you wanted to say real quick. Go ahead, come up.
or give you feedback on all these donations that I ask you to make every month. Just an example, I took all the toys for tots over to Old Chiropractic because they were a reception center there. And so it took me, I took about 3 trips in to put around a tree, which was kind of around the corner from the desk. So I didn't really see anybody or talk to anybody. The young lady working at the desk after my 3rd trip in literally ran out, followed me out to my car to thank me over and over again for bringing in all of these things. So I just want you guys to know people do appreciate what we do on a monthly basis for them, no matter who it is. But that was just a good example. Okay.
Gary, I appreciate it. All right, before we get to the road raffle real quick, I just wanted to thank James for our speakers for this month. So I guess he's the one who deserves all the credit. So let's give a round of applause. James. Next month we have our holiday program. So on December 3rd, we will have the Hudson High School local impact holiday program, which we always look forward to. The 10th, I don't have anything on for the 10th yet. It's still to be determined.
Yeah, but, that you're doing a, 2 things. One is obviously you need a beautiful, ugly sweater, Christmas sweater. And, secondly, we are going to have, I think, stuff about, what you did get for Christmas, right?
Okay.
As a kid, what you always wanted as a kid, that you never got.
Yeah, I never got my
At
Rotary
your
DVD.
holiday period. Yeah, you want it now, right?
So there's still time. The 17th, we'll have Bob DiBiasio from the Cleveland Guardians. That's always a big presentation there. And then obviously the 24th and 31st, we will be off for the holidays. So we have our road raffle. The payout is $9. Jackpot is $192. And then I'm sure that there is a digital way of doing this better than marbles, but we're going to have you pull it. What are you talking about? Oh, the ticket. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is what happens when 2 weeks go. I missed a week. I'm still all off. Trying to get everything done. You think that? It's been a day. Number
90403.
403. All right, Dave, come on up. There is no meeting next week for the holidays. All right, so Dave, you get to do the Marvel pick. Sorry, it's like I said, 2 weeks. And it still goes on. All righty. Gail, I think you're gonna have to come back and take charge. So we're not here next week for the holidays. I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe, and loving Thanksgiving with your families. And to end the meeting with our inspirational quote for the week, it comes from an American author by the name of Michelle Goodrich. And it's Thanksgiving is not only being aware of the abundance of good in the world, but embracing it. So thank you, and everybody. One. I did mention that we do have the Foundation Board meeting, but thank you, Gail, for keeping me on track. All right, everybody, enjoy your day and have a happy Thanksgiving.